Hello everyone! Thank you for joining me today as we start the first of hopefully many videos in where we speculate or talk about some of the upcoming features that we're all looking forward to in the approaching expansion of Dawntrail. As we know, a few days ago was the Tokyo or the Japanese Fan Fest, where we got the reveal of the second of two new jobs that will be added to the game. So today we are going to be discussing that new job, its history from the series, and what we might be expecting for this new version for 14, the Pictomancer. Now, this job was hinted at all the way back in the 2023 Las Vegas Fan Fest, where Yoshi P came out on stage and wore a t-shirt with the image of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, any fan of the TMNT will know that each is named after famous Renaissance artists. Not only that, but one of the turtles, Leonardo, uses twin swords in battle, which could also have been a hint towards the Viper job, but we'll talk about Viper another day. So yes, this is a job where you can literally paint portraits alive to attack enemies and support allies. Not only that, but like many had hoped for, Kryl will be the new poster child for this job, so she will be joining the party support as a Pictomancer with the release of Dawntrail. But what exactly is a Pictomancer? What is the story behind it and the history of it from the Final Fantasy series? Well, our first clue is actually in the name, which is simply taken from the Latin word picto, something that has been decorated or painted, and the mancy suffix, which basically means divination or magic in some translations. So literally, painting magic pictures is what the Pictomancer is all about. Now, compared to many of the jobs that we've seen throughout the series as a whole, Pictomancer is definitely one of the least used ones, with only one major exception from Final Fantasy VI. But the few forms that we have seen it is pretty consistent in that it is a job that uses brushes as weapons to create magical portraits of their targets to attack them. Easily the most well-known Pictomancer from the series would be Realm Aroni from Final Fantasy VI, who is a young but talented artist. Now, I'm not going to talk about her story to avoid spoilers, but to basically sum it up, she is a descendant of the Magi, and she's able to sketch monsters and is temporarily able to bring the drawings to life to attack in battle. In the game, she is seen waving the brush in the air, and a copy of her targets appear over her head before it flashes and disappears, most likely meaning that she is painting in the air like it's a great big canvas. She's usually chosen as a support character, but she does have one of the highest magical stats in the game, and she can become a very powerful mage, though it should be remembered that her physical stats are generally low, and her equipment was often limited. Though it is worth noting that she was known for having the cat ear hood, which is one of the strongest pieces of armor in that game, and can seriously boost her magical prowess. Something that Kryl is still wearing in the trailer as well, so that's a really nice touch. I admit, out of all the list of jobs I had come up with for the new magical DPS, Pictomancer wasn't my first choice, and yet I'm not disappointed by it. We ended up getting our first view of the job from Kryl in the completed trailer for Dawntrail, as well as a showcase trailer of the job and some of its abilities, and it sure looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, from what we were told and what we saw from the trailers, this is going to be a support magical range DPS job who is able to cast spells with the use of a paintbrush, wand, and palette. According to the lore that we got so far, it's a job that uses mixed ether as a medium, painting creatures, weapons, and even landscapes to transform them from imagination to reality. So the full lore about this particular job is really going to be interesting, because if you could paint whatever you need to alive, you think that we would have heard of the Pictomancer before now. Though from what we have seen, it looks like not only do these castings take a long time, they are only temporary. But we do seem to have some instant cast abilities that I assume that we'll be able to use in between, so it's a bit like Red Mage and how we balance the long-term spells versus the immediate instant spells. And according to the keynote, to unlock this job you need not only the expansion of Dawntrail, but you also have to have one of the other Disciples of War or Magic jobs at level 80, which will cause the job to become available in the city of Gridania, and you will be starting it off at level 80. I mean, the dev team probably feels that if you've come this far in the game, then you probably don't need to be babied with starting the job all the way back to level 1. And since this is a magical range DPS, we will be able to share some abilities that we do have with the other magical jobs, and it is confirmed that Pictomancer will have several supporting abilities, meaning that unlike a Black Mage or Summoner, its damage dealing probably won't be as high. But I'm also looking forward to seeing what spells that they are able to paint up to support the rest of the party. I'm guessing that they can use some kind of spells to boost maybe a magical attack with physical damage, maybe improve defense, something like that. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Though unlike Red Mage and Summoner, this job, they said, does not have any access to raise abilities, so sorry about that. So it's not going to be a 100% support job, but we can always change that in the future, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But in exchange for that, we will be wielding a brush and sharing our armor with the casting gear sets, which will have low physical defense but high magical defense like all the other magical jobs. An FYI for those who may have problems with remembering attributes, that the Pictomancer's main attribute will be Intelligence, which will boost their attack magic potency, and you can focus on critical hit, direct hit, speed spell, and determination as secondary attributes, which will improve their damage dealing as well, just in case they decide to have attributes for future weapons decided, which will probably be added at some point. But moving on, the Pictomancer will also be sharing the same limit breaks with the other magical DPS in the forms of Sky Shard for 1 limit break, Star Storm for 2 limit break, and for the level 3 limit break we'll probably have a unique attack just for the Pictomancer, which I can't wait to see, which I'm sure is going to be very interesting. But otherwise, yes, that is all we know for sure for the Pictomancer. I know it was a pretty short video. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of information about the Pictomancer that we can actually draw inspiration from. But you know what? That is also a good thing, because that means the dev team has a lot of free space to do with whatever they really want to this particular job, and add it to make it so unique to the growing list of jobs for 14. I do have a feeling that they will be able to fully paint the Pictomancer's lore into this world in a way that does make sense, and we will come to accept it. And yes, that pun was intended. But anyway, that's it for now. Please let me know what you think and what kind of lore you think we can be expecting for one of our newest jobs. And we will be going over what we do know already for the Beastmaster, which is going to be the new limited job, they did confirm that, and Viper, or at least the jobs that hold the two-handed blades that we've seen throughout the series, because this is the first time that we've actually heard the term of Viper. But anyway, that's it for now. If you have any suggestions or topics for future discussions for Dawntrail, please let me know down below, and hope to see you all again soon. Bye!